While President Obama is outlining his new foreign policy in the last 2 years that he has left in office, including relations with Cuba and even the possibility of an embassy in Tehran. The president's comments come from an interview with NPR that he sat down for just before leaving Washington for the holidays. Lieutenant Colonel Ralph Peters is a Fox News strategic analyst. Colonel, great to see you. I want to begin, if I can, with Iran. And you know that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's got to be shaking his head. Let me play you what he said about Iran, and I'll get your reaction. Play this.
There's incredible talent and resources and sophistication inside of Iran, and it would be a very successful regional power that was also abiding by international norms and international rules, and that would be good for everybody. That would be good for the United States, that would be good for the region, and most of all, it would be good for the Iranian people.
A successful regional power, and it's good for everybody. Colonel, your thoughts?
Well, he's taking Hillary Clinton's advice and showing empathy with our enemies. Trace, I'm hard to surprise at this point in my life, but I was bewildered by the NPR interview when I really read the full transcript. President Obama has mastered the art of praising himself for his failures. In the interview, he applauds himself for his brilliant handling of Iran. Well, Iran's closer to nuclear weapons than it ever was. And by the way, in that interview, he never mentions Israel at all. He applauds himself for his wise handling of terrorism in the Middle East. Terrorism is spread across the Middle East. And he even suggests that he has triumphed over Vladimir Putin. Putin is going to be czar of Russia long after Obama has left office to play golf with the 1% he's always attacking.
Yeah, and I'm going to play a Putin bite for you in a minute, but it's curious.
Please.
Because, in fact, we should play this right now. This is what he said, and he was talking about strategy, and Vladimir Putin got into the conversation. Play this next soundbite, and we'll talk about it.
I think that one of the things I've learned over 6 years, and it doesn't always suit the news cycle, is having some strategic patience. You'll recall that 3 or 4 months ago, everybody in Washington was convinced that President Putin was a genius.
Putin, before we get to Putin, Colonel, there's the piece where he says strategic patience.
Let me translate strategic patience for you. It means neglect. It means doing nothing. Now, Trace, obviously sometimes in international relations you have to show patience, of course. But you also have to act when it's time to act. And what we need more than strategic patience is strategic vision. But this is an astonishingly passive, self-adoring president. And as for Putin, you want to go there?
Yeah, well, no, that's the whole thing. Is you hear this thing where he says, the reason that Putin, look, 3 months ago, some people thought Putin was a genius, right? And now that Russia's economy is falling on hard times, well, Putin doesn't look like a genius anymore. I mean, look, if it wasn't for the price of oil being down to $40 a barrel, if it was still at $110 a barrel, then Putin would still be looking pretty much like a genius in a lot of people's eyes.
Well, I do think Putin has unquestionably been a brilliant leader for Russia. Not a good guy, not our friend.
Right.
He didn't understand economics. And sanctions are fine, but it was the price of oil that knocked it down. But Putin he's not defeated. He's not quitting. He still has an 80% approval rating. It would take oil at current low prices for at least 2 to 3 years to derail his plan. I'm going to put it bluntly. Obama thinks he can romance He can romance Cuba. He wants to romance Iran. He tried to romance Putin and he got date rape. This is a president who, after 6 years, is astonishingly, willfully naive, self-adoring, ineffective, and he also, in that interview with Steve Inskeep, that slavish interview which could have been Russian journalists interviewing Putin, he also says that we're the strongest, best positioned for the future. Our military is the greatest in history. Yes, the military he is gutting. I mean, he's amazing. He applauds himself for all that's going right in the economy, all that's going right in the world, and he avoids everything that's going wrong. The strategic landscape from Nigeria to Pakistan, from Russia to Venezuela, is almost immeasurably worse than it was when Obama took office. And the fact that Steve Inskeep didn't press him on any of the hard stuff. Tells you what you need to know about the state of NPR and Obama.
I'm just guessing you didn't like the interview, Colonel. It's a stab in the dark.
I'm not an NPR basher. I listen to NPR when I'm driving. It's fine. But my God, ask the tough questions, guys. Don't suck up all the time.
Colonel Ralph Peters, Colonel, Happy New Year. Good to see you, sir.
Happy New Year to you, or as Putin would say, Snovim Godem.